So what's up, everybody? It's me, True Star Screamer. And we're here with something very cool that I just got from 5K Toys. This is from Romankey Toys. This is their Ghost Ant. And this is something very, very cool. Like I mentioned before, this came from 5K Toys. Yeah, I may have already opened it up. There's nothing to talk about the box on here. But I do want to point out, this is actually my second figure from them. I did actually get the Gun Girl, but by the time I got her, everybody and their brother had already reviewed her. So I figured you didn't need my thoughts on that. But she's cool. This, though, oh my gosh, is something very, very badass. And I cannot wait to share with you guys. Yeah. Did I mention I still like this Myths Toys Spider-Man? Or sorry, friendly neighborhood, whatever he is. This is cool. Let me know if you guys want me to do a formal review. I know everyone else, again, has done this, but I just love messing with it. I digress, though. Let's talk about this big bug boy right here, because he is something special. This is how he comes out of the package. And he's got a lot of cool things. Yes, I did not stutter. Just a lot. This impressed the hell out of me. For third-party companies or independent figures, Romankey has done some very neat things. As far as I can tell, this is an independent property, kind of like how Sexy Ice does their big bug guys, which I've got their Manticora floating around this room somewhere. It's like the cyberized bug thing seems to be the thing. I just put another one on pre-order from 5K like last week, and I've been very eagerly awaiting this guy, and he so far has not disappointed. Straight vanilla from the package. You can see it has this beautiful blue sheen to it, which very much reminds me of an exoskeleton on a bug. It's it's lovely, and it goes all over. Then we've got this brown wash going into it, which reminds me a lot of some of the NECA Alien figures, actually. I thought that was a very cool thing that they did. And I think someone over there might have been a fan of that design. This is an import figure. Always hit it with a hairdryer before it comes out. I mean, again, honestly, in this day and age, with how people are working with plastic tolerances, hit every figure with a hairdryer. Just saying. But just straight out of the package, it still is an absolute lovely piece of plastic, or many pieces of plastic. The articulation is awesome. We do have a nice butterfly joint, not the deepest, but it's there. Bicep swivel, definitely on the tight side. Double bicep, proper wrist. The shoulder pads here, they are mounted into the shoulder itself, so they don't slide a lot, but they are on a hinge that allows them to go up and down, so that allows them to move out of the way. So you can get a good T-pose. You can see here, it's kind of like a turtle shell moving. The helmet, the head, I want to call it a helmet because it does kind of remind me of a samurai helmet, but of course samurai helmets are known as Kabuto helmets, kind of like Kabuto beetles, and so that's very much remiss of that. It's got all these pointy bits on there. He's got drop-down hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knee, toe hinge, decent ankle pivot rocker. He's got a torso that twists up here, with a decent ab crunch forward, decent ab crunch back. Of course, you can move the hips back into place. He does a lot what I want him to do. So, I'm not the most agile figure I have, but not the least agile figure. Just because, again, we're going with the basics on here. He's a good size. We'll pull up one of my good standards over here, my friend Pandora. So, bigger than a 6-inch figure, but for a beast like this, I think that's more than acceptable, so I would still say this is 1/12 scale, if you know what I'm saying. Because this could be the adversary in a horror movie, or sci-fi horror movie, or if you're a fan of some of those Twisted Kamen Rider movies, it could absolutely be a protagonist. So, the figure itself is great. But then what sets this off, and of course gives it its lovely price tag, is the bountiful amount of accessories. Now, when I say he's got bountiful accessories, he has one, this is where the figure came in, and all these additional pieces. 2, 3 trays of accessories. So we've got, oops, hit the light meter. We've got the additional armor pieces, we've got the hands, and we've got the stand. Again, this guy was not cheap, but they definitely did not skimp on what you can get, and I absolutely love it. Working with the first tray of accessories, we get an additional kind of like helmet on here, which as you can see is magnetic. So we can just put that right on there. It doesn't snap into place. Gives a little bit more bulk to him. Same with our chest panel. You know, we've got the opening here, kind of Guyver Mega Blaster-esque, or Mega Smasher-esque. And again, we've got 2 more magnets on here. So this will just attach right to the chest. So one, you could have that be battle damaged if you want, and they can just be torn right off. I think that's very neat. Great way of adding some bulk. We got another little spike here, which according to the instructions you put, yeah, just right down there. Make your own jokes, but honestly, it kind of works, and it sticks. So there you go. Doesn't look too horrible. And if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't make the jokes. But one thing that is kind of cool, I could also take this off, and I could probably put it right up here, and now he's got a spike on his head. So you can do that too if you like. Our next set of accessories are a little more subtle. He's got these pinholes in the back here. You can actually just plug these guys, both of these, into his back to give him, again, a little more bulk, which again makes symmetry on all the spikes. But he also has this kind of arm-like piece on here. Now, when you look at it, it looks like there are joints in there. It looks like this could be straightened out. I don't think it's meant to, and I do not recommend trying, because this is a $100 plus $100 figure, and we don't want to risk breaking it. But we can plug that right here into his shoulder. I kind of wish we had 2 of them, but I also love my asymmetry, so you got that going for it. You just work that in there. And this really reminds me of Kamen Rider Black Sun. If you haven't seen that, it is on Amazon Prime. He had 2 of these on there, and he would literally rip it off his body and turn that into a sword. One thing I didn't like is it never regenerated, so once he used it as a sword, it was done. So technically he only had 2 chances to use it. I get it, but at the same time, kind of dumb. But this way it looks like he ripped off one and the next one's growing back. So, points for him. I kind of wish I had 2, again, just to give that additional bulk to it, or that additional silhouette. Still, very, very neat. I don't think I mentioned the teeth are painted a beautiful silver, too. Gives it just this fantastic, sinister look. So the next tray, we really get into the meat of things. As always, we get our extra hands, and I like to do we get 1 of each for each hand. So we get our evil gesturing hand. We have our claw hand for raging and slashing. Get our open splayed hand. Again, more dramatic gestures, or again, being sinister, or trying to rip off somebody's face. And we also get a pair of fists, because sometimes you just gotta go basic. He comes default with his weapon holding hands. Speaking of the weapons, we get these gorgeous swords. No scabbards for them, but for all we know, he grows them out of himself. We have no backstory for this, but these look organic and sinister all at the same time. There is a little, you can see this is actually almost like this is translucent, with a red translucent plastic, with a little bit of paint on them. So it kind of gives it that energy feel to it. It's very much like the claws, his claws on there, especially at the end of the thing on his back. You got the sword breaker guards on them. These look awesome. And then he also has a third weapon, kind of like a dagger. But what's neat is I've actually seen pictures where he holds this in his mouth. So that was in some of the promotional photos, and I think that is absolutely vicious. I'll see if I can recreate it. Won't lie, that's very cool. I don't know if I'll keep him in display like that, because the plastic for the mandibles is very thin. But it's neat that he can do it. Absolutely neat that he can do that. Finally, for the accessories, we get an additional right arm. This is, or two additional right arms that we can use. It's kind of like, this is the powering up version, and this is the final attack set. This is vicious. I mean, it's interesting how the hand almost, like, it mutates, growing additional fingers. Again, we've got that red translucent plastic. We have the flange here. I don't want to say it's Guyver-esque, but it's pretty neat that it can do that. And I would love if that could hinge open and use it as a bladed weapon. And I also think it's very interesting that it's only the left arm that does it, his left arm per se. This is definitely one you want to hit the hairdryer and pull the arm off the socket, and then you'll be able to replace it on there. I think I might, I don't know if I want to do with the full one on here or keep them posed with this, but I'm definitely going to put one of these guys on first, just to see how it looks. And this just turns him from being the heroic figure to definitely more horrific one. There's a lot of things, I mean, as I'm messing with this, there's a lot of things that you can do with this that I think really sets this figure apart from other ones. I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what, this could be his final form per se. And then if you wanted to, when you start him off, vanilla, and if this was like a Kamen Rider Kuga type character who always consistently evolves, he gets the swords, then he gets the armor, and then finally just turns into this monster when it's all said and done. I like this a lot. And this is very tempting to maybe just keep one of these arms on there, and then yes, just have a weapon holding hand here. But God, I love these swords so much. One thing I just realized that came with this figure, I thought this fabric was going to be like a wired cloak or something, like a bonus accessory. No, you actually get official gloves to handle your shiny figure so you don't get fingerprints on him. So, if you're that type of person, I would like to tell you right now, open this up first. And that way you now have official gloves to wear and be that bougie reviewer. So I can now do this, guys. I could be that guy. I can sit here and wear the gloves and not put fingerprints on my fingers, which is kind of cool. And it says Romankey on there too, which is pretty neat. Should I be that kind of reviewer, guys? Do you want me to be? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll wear these just to annoy people just for a while. Or maybe they're just comfortable. But still, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I can use that to wipe off the fingerprints now. Go figure. We do get a stand. It's okay. I'll be honest. If you guys saw that Gun Girl figure that came out last year, that stand was epic. This is very basic. Very, very basic. And I will be frank, I think this is just more of a stand to keep the figure standing. This is not a stand for aerial poses, if you know what I mean. You could definitely buy better ones for that. I would not trust this for that, but I do think it's cool you get one so you can sit there, and if you don't think he's balanced enough, just go ahead, lock that in. No, I'm not wearing the gloves, so I'll have fingerprints on my figure or I'll wipe it down later. So that way, if you don't feel that you have a flat surface, there you go. And you know what? This is what I wish came with that other bug guy. The first guy I did earlier this year, because that needed this. Or if you want to, you can give it to him. But, because he stands pretty decent. But you get it. Finally, I will say not everything is pure perfection. There's always room for improvement. While this forearm accessory is very neat, keep in mind you do lose wrist articulation with it. So you can't change the wrist, you can't fold it around, so this is the only pose you get it in. Keep that in mind. The back pieces here, they knock off a little easier than I'd want them to, but I would rather have them knock off than have the peg break off. So that one I'll give it as a gimme. I really hope I'm not putting fingerprints on this guy. Maybe I should have worn the gloves. On the other hand, though, as opposed to, again, I can't remember that bug's name. This absolutely satisfies me in every way. I want an action figure too. Joint tolerances are great. Balance is pretty solid. I don't have those weak ankles that the other guy had. Accessory count, awesome and very unique. I think the only thing, he doesn't have a gun, which I don't think he needs one, or, bug-like gun, acid squirter or whatever. Everything works very well for what he is. This is the Ghost Ant. This could be a Kamen Rider villain. This could be a Shin Kamen Rider-esque type of hero, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. Or, just it's good. It's organic. It flows. It's thematic. It holds up. The details are great. The pros absolutely outweigh the few cons there are. I absolutely recommend it if this is your wheelhouse. The magnet gimmick works great. Everything kind of stays on there. Everything stayed in place. Occasionally some things have gotten knocked off, but they go back on just fine. Seriously, this is kind of right up there with those those Dark Elf guys I got earlier this year. Very neat, and I absolutely recommend. But as always, let me know your thoughts down below. Should I glove up next time? You know, again, tell me. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. As you can see, we got tons of cool things here. I got a ton of Street Fighter ready to go, guys. And so so stick around. You'll catch me, of course, on the Figure Action Podcast. But most importantly, as always, my friends, until next time, take care. Peace.